Hello, hello. Welcome back to the weekly Monday Motivation Podcast, No More Excuses. I am your host, Sandi Ballard, the Badass Business Coach. Why? Many of you know, and you're probably saying it right now, because I help you realize your badassness so you what? That's right. Do more, be more, and achieve more than you ever thought possible. Again, thanks for being here, and thanks for checking out my website, badassbusiness.coach. There's a DIY section on there, all the podcasts, and lots of fun stuff, lots of cool swag. And, you can connect with me on social media and continue each weekly theme with articles, other challenges and questions, and just continuing to build on yourself and your personal and professional growth. And yes, because the first quarter is coming to a close, it's about leveling up. So we've got to do some deep digging to finish this first quarter strong. And wow, last week's podcast was about work, work, and work, the four-letter word. I asked you, any of you had listening and for sharing, so thank you for sharing. I asked you what you've been putting off doing that you know needs to be done, but it might suck, it's going to be hard, or you may have to ask for help because you don't know how. Well, some of the things I heard, biggest one, taxes. It is tax season. And, ironically, it used to be mileage, the mileage portion for my man Candy. He would never track it. Like, I had a little book in my car. He would never track it. He would literally go into his calendar, and this is the last thing he would do. He would map the directions to all his meetings and figure out the mileage. He got it done, but, it's what he did. So taxes for people are, just do kind of suck, gathering all the stuff. And my guess is not many people are going to have many miles for 2020. I know I only had a few, maybe 15 to 20 before the world shut its doors. And others, besides those pesky taxes, others shared with me social media posts. They aren't staying consistent or doing them at all. Website updates, tracking calories, yes. And the infamous, I actually talked with a client on Friday about this, getting help to stop smoking. Those are all big things and things that maybe you just don't want to do because they're going to be hard or going to suck. And someone else emailed me about having to hire a new staff person and just that process, getting flooded with all the emails and the interviewing. And it's because they interviewed, had someone, they came in and did a job shadow. Everyone loved her. And then she no-showed. So that I can understand how that process would suck. And last week, I also briefly touched on Chapter 5 in my book, The Magic Pill. Chapter 5 is titled This or That. In this chapter, I talk about you can do one of two things. Do it or pay for it, right? Do it yourself or pay for it to be done. But right now, you've got to dig a little deeper than that and ask yourself, as I ask my clients, is this a good use of your time? Especially if you're saying, I don't have the time. If you don't have the funds to pay someone to help you, you've got to do it for now. But then the plan becomes figuring out how to get where you can hire someone or a company to do your social media and marketing, to do your sales or business development, to do some follow-up phone calls and reminders. I've had a client for over 5 years, and one of the things she always complained about was just that, not having enough time to get everything done. From simple things like paying bills up to working on a bigger vision for her company. Her homework assignment, what I gave her was I've given many people this, it's to write down everything, yes, everything you do for every day for a week. And I had her do this. She kept a notepad with her at all times and just would sit down and periodically write down. Saw this client, talked with this client, answered calls, had to call back, paid bills, all that stuff. And interestingly enough, it was like reset the printers. When the one was, and it just happened to be at that time, is changing the outside lights in the building for the time zone change because, it was darker or lighter or whatever. It was eye-opening for her. And any of my clients I've had do that. So if you've heard yourself say, I don't have enough time to get it all done, or I need more of me, or tasks and to-dos just keep getting carried over from day to day and seem to be interfering with working on your bigger goals, then do this. Do this. All right. So for my client, when she identified what she needed to do, we looked at what was not a good use of her time, and she prioritized what was on there. She happens to have staff, so it was then determining who she would delegate some of these tasks to. Many times there are some underlying control factors, more micromanagement, all that, but not really for her. It was more of just, she's always done XYZ, like change the time on the outside lights, take out the trash. But as she grew, she just hadn't taken the time to look at what she was still doing and whether it was a good use of her time. And, even if it was only taking her 5 or 10 minutes a day, it's still time she can put towards a larger, more meaningful goal, like the company's growth. I know a lot of people are doing their own social media because sometimes, some of it's easy. I do a lot of mine, but then they think, they don't have the funds, or they feel like they don't have the funds to hire that out. But it can also have a negative impact on your company because you're inconsistent. And you're not always representing your own brand in the best and most professional way. And is it really a good use of your time? There's contract workers out there. There's Fiverr, Upwork, there's people who will just work on projects, and those are fantastic. Contract 1099 employees, or whatever, Fiverr and Upwork, however you pay for them. There's also been a huge upswing in virtual assistants, especially with people working remotely. Those are great options to look at that might not be as expensive as you think. And also, don't forget about the old-fashioned trade. I have done a lot of trade over the years, helping business owners start and grow, get out of their own way. I've had everything from having my condo cleaned, which I loved, helped a company, cleaning company, get started and grow. And I've had photography done at my Women's Taboo Tribe events, and editing my books, and even products for client gifts and, well, for my own personal satisfaction, And I forgot, many, many, many years ago, I did some trade work for a boutique owner and quite enjoyed having my first 3-digit priced jeans. Yes, they were, I don't even know, well over $150, close to $200. It was so fancy. I felt so good. It was so fun. But I would never pay for that, right? The thing is, determining what is a good use of your time and how to get it off your to-do list will help you understand why you perhaps have felt overwhelmed or just not getting to things. And this, especially like last week, it was about doing the work, putting in the effort. If you're not even doing the work due to fear or not knowing how or feeling like you don't have the money, it's all directly affecting your growth. And another thing that could be hurting your business that could cause bigger issues down the road is that concern about I don't have the money, or official contracts and documents, and even setting up your business. Yes, you can set up your business online. You can do a lot of contracts online. And attorneys get a bad rap for charging you as soon as they pick up the phone. Maybe, but not always. And everyone's time is valuable, isn't it? I mean, yours is, right? Would you give all of your time away? I mean, we have to get that mindset out of our mind, right? And shift it to where, is this going to be a good use of our time to research wherever you're getting your contracts or your legal advice, and also, looking at what's the potential danger down the road. I've had clients that have done their own business setup online, and then when they went to go get their taxes done, they weren't set up in the best way for them. And they also weren't legally protected like they should have been. So it pays to spend a few $100, maybe up to $1,000, depending on what business you have, all that stuff, to get your business set up properly. But we're going to talk about that next week, because in next week's podcast, I'm interviewing business attorney Karen Young. so she can share 3 ways attorneys should save you money. But now I want to, we've talked about putting in the work, but now looking at, is this a good use of your time? And do it or pay for it. And sometimes pay for it later. This week I want to know. So, do your homework. Write down what you do every day for a week. Secondly, email me or post here. What have you discovered that's not a good use of your time? Or maybe you know that right off the bat. What's not a good use of your time? And, have you, who do you think could help? Could you delegate it to or hire out? And if you need help identifying what's a good use of your time, identifying how to, what the priorities are, and how all this can help you level up, email me now. Direct message me. Email me at Sandi@sandiballard.com. Direct message me. Let's set up an appointment. I can look through your list. I can talk through this with you just like I've done with so many people to help them find time so they can do more, be more, and achieve more. Okay, have a great productive week, and I look forward to hearing what's not a good use of your time, but you're still fucking doing it. All right? Have a great week. Cheers.